Hello, the question that I chose to answer today was, how are science and scientific progress portrayed in this film? What are the implied legitimate uses to which science may be put? What makes them legitimate, which are illegitimate? And the way that I chose to answer this question was I made a list of all the technology used in the film and I compared it to stuff that we currently have today. To start off, I'm not going to touch on the crow technology as the filmmakers didn't have to stick to any scientific guidelines since they weren't invented by humans. Therefore, the crow technology was able to be portrayed as pure fiction. Other than that, science and scientific progress are portrayed relatively closely to how things actually ended up or headed towards. The movie takes place in the year 2200. I would venture to guess, with the way we are headed, in 2200 we will be traveling in space and exploring other planets. According to NASA, light speed is impossible at this point in time. However, that doesn't mean we won't discover it in the future. Time travel is actually theoretically possible through wormholes, but that's a completely different issue. Teleportation is possible for items at the moment, so it may be possible for people at some point. The radio communication from spaceship to the planet and the communicators they use to talk to the spaceship from the planet and talk to each other are entirely possible. In fact, the communicators they use operate very much like smartphones, with the visual component and the communication between each other and the spaceship. They even have a device which they use on the ship to get information about Morbius, which looks and operates like a smartphone, using something like Google to find information about Morbius. The vehicle that Robbie pilots and uses to bring them to Morbius looks similar to vehicles we have used when running Mars missions. Some of the things Robbie does are definitely likely to come to fruition by 2200. Firstly, robots are currently being programmed to speak 3 languages for the Japan 2020 Olympics, but only with preset sayings. So robots being able to translate languages in 200 years is extremely likely. As far as Robbie actually physically making items, it's essentially a 3D printer inside a robot, which is also extremely likely in 200 years. Lastly, and this is just a theory, but if we keep treating the Earth the way it is, and global warming ends up destroying Earth, we might end up having to live on other planets. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my discussion post.